Hello everyone and welcome to SSB Crack Exams. I am Hemant and now we are discussing about a very important update on the AFCAT exam. It is from yesterday that we begin applying for the AFCAT examination, and the last date for applying this examination and the completion of payment must be done by July of 14th, 2020. Exam is going to be conducted on 19th and 20th of September 2020. So before beginning, I would like to always introduce to you about SSB Crack Exams. SSB Crack Exams is India's largest, most preferred online defense exams preparation portal. It is one-stop solution for you if you're preparing for NDA, CDS, AFCAT, INET, Territorial Army, and Indian Air Force, MN Group X and Group Y. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Telegram, and directly visit us through our website learn.ssbcrackexams.com. You can download our app from Google Play Store, where you can have each and every defense-related information, examination-related study material, and content in your hands. Here I will show you on how to apply for the examination properly and the steps that must be taken into consideration, so that you find very less amount of problems, so that you find very easy for applying this particular examination as fast and as better as possible. So the first and foremost thing that we have to remember, we have to go through is directly about AFCAT website, which is known as afcat.cdac.in. This is the first and foremost important website. You have to go to that website. After going to that particular website, it will be showing you this important screen. It will show about IAF online survey. You can simply skip to the mains content. If you are interested, you can even give up about a survey with the Indian Air Force. If you are given before, you do not need to do it again and again. So before applying for the AFCAT examination, some things that you have to remember is that you should have your photograph, which should include the passport size photograph, and your signature and your thumb impression. If you are a male, it should be your left hand thumb impression, and if you are a female, it should be your right hand thumb impression. All of these three pictures should be in JPG or JPEG format. Both of them should have a size not less than 10 kilobytes and should not its size should not exceed not more than 50 kilobytes. After getting through with this particular important page, you can find about home, about life in IAF, career selection. This is a very important page. This page is specially only for the officers selection in Indian Air Force. So after getting through here, you can even see the news and the updates which are scrolling down. So after getting into this page, you can simply see here, which is written here, known as the candidate login. Go through the candidate login. AFCAT 1 2020 cycle is done. This is AFCAT 2 2020. Simply click on AFCAT 2 2020. Understanding? After clicking on AFCAT 2 2020, you have to click on register here. Okay. First you have to register because before registering, it is very important for us to know you have to register. If you didn't register, you cannot log in into the credentials. So if you go down here, if you write directly your email ID, your password, and if you write the captcha, it will simply say okay, about the credentials are wrong, even though your email ID and password are correct. See, I'll show it to you in a very better way here. Okay. After typing everything, and if you type your password, it will simply say that the credentials are invalid. Understanding? So why are the credentials invalid even though all the three were showing the tick marks? It was because we didn't even register here. Okay, so you have to register here. It will be showing all the one-time passwords and all. So you have to check up with the one-time registration passwords. So it is still linked. So we didn't even register. First we have to register here. Click on register here. After clicking on register here, you have to write your full name and the details. And then write your email. Please remember, always use that email that is always in service, because each and every important update regarding the examination and the important admit cards, all of them will be sent to you directly to your email address. So if you didn't provide the proper email address, then it would be a very problematic issue. Always provide that email which is always in service. That means you are in use of it always. So that is very important. And please remember, please type your email address, very important. Each and every letter is case sensitive. If you type a wrong email address, then it will be a very problematic issue. Recheck that email address always. Nationality will always be only Indian, and you can type your mobile number as usual. Typing your mobile number, you can select your secret question. In an easy way, I can even select about any secret question, and you can even type your secret answer. Then you have to write the captcha. As per here, I got a captcha U, capital A, 6, G and J. This is the captcha. Always see properly and then you simply click on sign up. Okay. Now, if your email ID is already registered, it will show that the email ID is already registered. If your email ID is not already registered, it will show that your email ID has been done. My email ID has always been registered, so I will simply go towards my email ID, and if I check that email ID, it will be showing in the ID that I have got an important email from the AFCAT registration. Simply I am staring it and I'm going through that email. In that email, I'm able to find out that the system generated password is given it here. Okay, this is a very important one. Simply highlight that system generated password and then click on Control C from your keyboard. Click on Control C after highlighting only that password. Okay, this is very important. You have to copy that password here, and I got my secret question and I've got my answer. Everything is given here. Okay, and it is even mentioned here that this is a system generated email, so that we cannot reply to this particular email. I will simply go back towards the IAF website and I will go back towards the login here, where in which I will open up with the sign in screen. I have my email ID, password and the text shown. So in the email ID, I will type the email ID with which I have registered back again. Okay, then I will click on password, right click there and simply you can copy it there. Control V. Okay, remember Control V to paste that particular password, then H5, capital V, small e and capital R. This is the captcha. After I do it, I'll simply click on login. Okay. Now after clicking on login, it will ask me to reset my password so that I can write a very new password. So I'm writing a new password here. Okay, and I'll simply confirm the password too. Okay, it should also mention that your password should contain at least one special character like exclamation mark, @ dollar symbol, percentage symbol and all of these, one capital letter, one number, and length should be between 8 to 20 characters. So if I'm not typing a password which doesn't show me, which doesn't give up with the required credentials, and if I'm writing also, see what happens. So if there is any problem with the pattern which I am doing it here, it will show me that the password should contain at least one special character, one capital letter, one number, and length should be between 8 to 20 characters. So I'm rewriting my password, I'm changing my password so that it contains one capital letter, one special character, and one number. I'm rewriting it. Once I write a proper password, it will show that I have given a correct password here. And I'll simply rewrite the password again. Now I will submit this. The moment I submit it, it will take up and again it will ask me to sign up with this. Why? Here now I will open with my own password. I am not opening with my system generated password here. Okay, I am rewriting my email address here. And I'll write the password that I have given there, which I have made it myself. Okay, and I'll write the captcha. And I'll log in. So the moment you log in, you will see this particular screen wherein which you can find AFCAT, NCC, Flying Branch and Metrology Branch. So this is an application for AFCAT. We will be concentrating on AFCAT only. Those candidates who have got a successful NCC Airwing C certificate. Remember, I'm reiterating NCC Airwing C certificate, and they have got that C certificate not more than 2 years. That means your C certificate should not be not more than 2 years old. Your C certificate should be around 2000. You should get that certificate last year, or you should get that certificate this year or last year. So this is very important. Only those people can apply this NCC flying branch. NCC people are applicable for this branch for a permanent commission, and that too only for the flying branch and not for any other technical or non-technical ground duty branches in the Indian Air Force. Now simply I will go click on the instructions. The moment you click on instructions, it will show you about the guidelines to fill up the online application form. Here it is showing that aspirants for IAF are required to apply online. All of these things are given enough. We will simply concentrate upon the bolded important letters here. It is being shown that if an applicant has submitted more than one application, only the latest submitted application form against a particular Aadhaar number will be considered for the issue of admit card. That means if you're applying for the same AFCAT 2 times from the same email address, then that one which is submitted the latest, that means that which is submitted latest from your side, that will be taken into consideration, and it will be taken only from one Aadhaar number. One Aadhaar number will have one admit card. A single Aadhaar number will not have 2 admit cards, like that. However, the fee deposited while filling the additional applications will not be refundable. Understanding? So if you're applying twice and thrice, you might pay twice and thrice the 250 rupees for that. So this is very important. Though that which is paid twice and thrice, the amount is not refundable. So please remember that you do apply only once, and that too properly. This is why I am taking this session for you guys. You have to always give your details, very important. Candidates must ensure that the registered email ID remains valid and active throughout the selection process. My email ID is active throughout the selection process, so you have to also maintain in the same way. So please remember that. The examination fee is 250 rupees. And this is non-refundable, sir. Understanding? So AFCAT entry is non-refundable. However, for NCC special entry, the fee is free. Okay. There is no fee for the NCC special entry candidates. Metrology people also have to pay 250 rupees here. Candidate is not allowed to edit his or her application form once it is submitted. And please remember, if you are any government employee, and if you're any government employee, you should have the no objection certificate NOC on your side while you are going for the AFSB testing. If you are successfully qualified in the AFCAT examination, if you are a serving airman, then they are also required to apply like other candidates. In addition, they are also required to apply as per the service format as given in the AFO 11/2015 through service channel. Those people, they have a different purpose of applying this AFCAT examination. If you are a working candidate, these candidates should know that in case communication is received from their employer to withhold permission to the candidates who have applied for or appear for the examination, their candidature is liable to be cancelled. This is very important. And the last but not the least, candidates are not required to submit certificates initially in support of their claims regarding age, educational qualifications, etc. along with their applications. So you're not required to submit any kind of extra certificates with this application. Remember that. So you can even download the guidelines to fill up the online application form. If you click on this, it will be showing, taking you to a very special important PDF page. You can download this PDF page for your future reference, and it will be very helpful for you. Okay. After downloading, you can simply close this off because I'm here to explain to you. Remember, you have to check this box. If you don't check this box, it will be a problem. You check this box and simply click on save and continue. After clicking on save and continue, if you have to type out what is your sample name, your sample father's name, like I'm very sorry, you have to type your own name, your father's name, your mother's name, and then you have to type your email address, and you can give a secondary email address if you want to. Okay, so I'm giving a secondary email address here. After this, you can give your nationality, that is Indian. You have to type your mobile number. Please remember, mobile number is very important. After you successfully submit your application, it will be giving you a message that your application has been received to your mobile number only. Even after you pay, that payment has been done, or it has been cancelled, or it has been kept under surveillance, all of these messages also will be sent to this important mobile number only. So please keep a mobile which is in working in your hands. Then you have to type your visible identification marks. After you write your visible identification marks, now this is a CPSS or PABD status. This is that exam if you have already gone through any previous SSBs, and at those SSBs, if you have taken the PABT or CPSS test. CPSS means computerized pilot selection system, and PABT means pilot aptitude battery test. Pilot aptitude battery test is now being known as CPSS test. Now, if you have already gone through the CPSS test, which is a once in a lifetime test, and if you are qualified in that, then you can mention that you have passed in that, but you didn't qualify in that, then you can mention failed in that. And now, if you have never gone through any kind of CPSS test in your life until now, please click on not appeared. Okay, after that it will ask you about, do you have a current valid commercial pilot license issued by DGCA? If you do have, you can click on yes. Those who don't have, they will simply click on no. And if you are a serving airman of IAF, if you are a serving airman, you can click on yes, and then the additional details will be asked. If you are not a serving airman, simply click on no, then select your gender. After that, select your marital status, which should be preferably unmarried. Then enter your date of birth. Okay, after entering your date of birth, you can confirm the date of birth by clicking on that. Here, enter your date of birth. Okay, and you have to mention that both of the date of births must be matched. So birth date is matched. You can simply click on save and continue. And it will show you a important notification bar that all the personal details are saved successfully. Click on OK. It will redirect you to a new page. After getting through this page, this is an extremely important page. It will ask you about your educational status. Simply click on educational level. If you are a graduation, after 10 plus 2 you have done graduation, simply click on 10 plus 2 plus graduation. If you have done post graduation, click on that. And if you have done integrated post graduation, which includes 5 years of like bachelor's and master's together, that is integrated post graduation, click on whichever thing. Most probably 80% people will be going through this stage, 10 plus 2 plus graduation. So I'm clicking that. After going through, it will give you a graduation level. If you click down, you will get graduate option A, B, C, and D. Now, what are these graduate options, sir? There is a important notion given here is view details. You can simply click on that. This is the important group details that are being done by the Indian Air Force towards a very basic generalization. Graduate option A means if you're a BTech candidate, both graduate options A and graduate options B, both of these are the BE or BTech candidates. They are Bachelor of Engineering or Bachelor of Technology candidates. If you have a BE or BTech in engineering disciplines like mechanical engineering, aerospace engineering, aeronautical engineering, aircraft maintenance engineering, mechanical and automation, and mechanical engineering production, like repair and maintenance, mechatronics, industrial engineering, metallurgical, rubber technology, nanotechnology, robotics, automotive engineering, aerospace and applied mechanics, all of these specializations will be coming under graduate option A. Okay, and if you're not among these important engineering branches, if you come under other engineering branches, then you are known as a graduate option B, and that is a BE or BTech in other engineering, which include electronics and communication engineering, computer science engineering, telecommunication engineering, electronics, electrical, and all related important engineering others. Remember, spacecraft technology comes under graduate option B, engineering physics, electric power and machinery engineering, infotech engineering, cyber security, all of these will be coming under graduate option B. Now, if you're not a BE or BTech graduate, if you're a BCom graduate or a BBA graduate, and if you are a qualified CA or CMA or CS of CFA or CA, all of these, and if you have a BSc with specialization in finance, remember, BSc with specialization in finance, only these candidates will be coming under graduate option C. Now, other than all of these, if you're not among all of these, if you're not among graduate option A or B or C, you will be by default coming under graduate option D. So I'll simply click on one of these. So you can simply close this, the graduate group details. I will click on one of these, and after clicking on that, it will be asking about what is the qualification. You can select any qualification. If it's a Bachelor of Engineering, it's a Bachelor of Engineering, or it can be a Bachelor of Technology. After that, you can click on the qualification stream. If you're a mechanical engineering, simply click on that, or if you're an aeronautical engineering, aircraft maintenance, there is a list beneath it. You can click anything, okay, which is actually which you have done, and then you can select on the course duration. If it is a 4-year course, you will simply select 4-year course. Then you will go and type your specific college name, okay. I'm giving a sample college name here. You can please type your own college name here, and I'm giving a sample university name. And after that, you can even type the expected date of obtaining the graduation. So if you already got your graduation certificate, then please type that date which is already there in your graduation certificate. Those people who didn't obtain their final graduation certificates, they can type their expected dates of obtaining their graduation certificates. Now I'm assuming that I already got the graduation certificate, or most people didn't get the graduation certificate. So I'm typing the date here, a sample date which can be used. Okay, I'll retype it. Then you can type the gross percentage that I've applied here. You can even include the conversion formula details. Please remember, there are some colleges where they are still following the grade point systems. You have to convert the grade points into a 100% percentile. In case the candidates are awarded the grades or CGPA instead of marks, the conversion of grades to percentage of marks would be based on the procedure certified by the university. Please remember, it is mentioned here, it would be based on the procedure certified by the university or institution from where they have obtained the bachelor degree. Okay, in case the university or institution does not have any scheme for converting CGPA into equivalent marks, then the equivalence would be established by dividing the candidate's CGPA by the maximum possible CGPA and multiplying the result with 100. Once you do that calculation, you can simply type your important gross percentage that you got, and I'm assuming some percentage here. And you should always never have any current backlog. If you do have a backlog, it simply says that you are not eligible. So you should not have any backlog. Understanding? So you should click on no. Then enter aggregate gross percentage as per your 10+2 higher secondary school mark sheet. Your 10th class percentage, include that percentage. Then you can your intermediate second year, after you complete your intermediate or your 10+2, you type that percentage here. In that, you have to enter how much percentage you got, especially in physics. Okay, and if you don't have any subject as physics in your intermediate, you can simply type 0 if this is not applicable to you. If you do have a physics subject in your intermediate or your 10+2, you can type the percentage that you got there, and then you can even type the mathematics. If you don't have mathematics in your intermediate, you can simply type 0 there, and if you do have mathematics in your 10+2 or intermediate, then you have to type the mathematics percentage here too. Then you can simply click on save and continue. Okay, and then it will show you a important notification that education qualification details are saved successfully. Click on OK. After you click on OK, it will show you about the course preference. Okay, because I am a candidate I've been selected a candidate from a mechanical engineering branch, it will show me the list of those courses that I'm eligible for. Okay, if I'm a BSc graduate, it might be showing only the flying and administration branches. As of now, some branches are not being taken into consideration. So only these are those branches in which I can choose my important courses. So I can select one of these courses. I am preferring flying as my first priority. aeronautical engineer, mechanical for males as a second priority, then male and men and women as a third priority of the aeronautical engineer mechanical. Then I will select administrations as my other priorities. I am choosing my priorities. Those people who want to choose their own priorities, it is in their own wish. It is their own choice to choose their courses, and the final allocation of these courses will be given to them after they qualify the examination, SSB and medicals, and based upon their All India merit list, the Indian Air Force will allocate that person depending upon the first rank, first serve basis, first selection basis, in that way. So this is the courses, list of courses that I've chosen. SSC means a short service commission, and this means that you can serve only for 12 years with an extension period of around 2 years. PC means a permanent commission. So these also you have to remember. Through AFCAT, I am eligible only for a short service commission here. Those people who are applying for the NCC special entry scheme, they are applicable only for flying branch, that too only permanent commission. Okay. Now I can choose EKT type. Because I am a mechanical candidate, as mentioned here, my EKT would be only EKT mechanical, others will be not be showing, they will be dimmed. So if I am a graduate option B, if I would have chosen that, then depending upon the stream that I'm working upon, I would have chosen some other EKT streams. If I'm a BSc or BCom graduate or a BBA graduate, preferably I will not have any EKT on my side. I will be simply writing the AFCAT exam. Those people who qualify the EKT will be eligible for these engineer branches. Okay. Now I have selected aeronautical engineers here as my courses. Now if I qualify the AFCAT, I will be eligible for flying and administration. But to get eligible for aeronautical engineer, that means the engineering branches of the Indian Air Force, I have to qualify the EKT examination. Okay, EKT means engineering knowledge test. Okay, next is about, do you have an NCC Airwing C certificate? If you do have, simply click on yes. If you don't have, simply click on no. If you have applied for the SSB before, you can click on yes. Those people who have applied for the SSB before, they can simply type their batch number, and then they can type their place of appearing wherever they have appeared. You can type that previous SSB, and from what date to what date did you ever gone through that particular important SSB. You can type that date. I'm typing a sample date here. After you type these SSB details, please remember, don't leave out like this. You have to click on add SSB detail. Once it is showing here for you, that means this has been taken into consideration. If you simply leave it here, then that will be waste of anything. It will not be taken into consideration. So you have to click on add SSB detail. Okay, only then it will be added. If you type some other SSB detail, that one also will be added here. Okay, repeaters, please mention that you do not try to give a wrong details by not providing the number of SSBs. How many number of SSBs you have appeared, please provide the list of the number of SSBs so that it will be helpful in your assessment in your SSB. Next is about, how did you come to know about opening? You can select any one of these, about newspaper, social media, friends, or the induction publicity exhibition vehicle, or the IAF website, or motivation lecture by IAF, whatever. So whichever thing you feel like that, by the way, that you have understood about the opening this, you can select that. Then if you are an engineering graduate, it will show you about, have you appeared for the GATE examination. If you did, click on yes. If you didn't, if you clicked on yes, it will be asking about the GATE passing year. Then you will fill up this field. If you didn't appear for the GATE exam, simply click on no. Both of these will be automatically dimmed off. Then click on save and continue. It will again show you with a pop-up notification that course and other details are saved successfully. Click on OK. After that, it will be asking you about your important personal communication details. You can write your permanent address here. Okay, simply type some address about your important home address as better and as detailed as possible. Okay, just for the preference, I'm typing some sample address here, and you can type the 6-digit pin code. Then nearest railway station, and a landline number if you do have anything, and then you can type your Aadhaar number, a sample Aadhaar number. Then you can check if your permanent address is same as your correspondence address. If you don't have your permanent address as your correspondence address, that means your permanent address is somewhere and you're living some other in some other place. For your correspondence, you can type that correspondence address here. But if both of the addresses are same, if you're living at the same place and everything is at that place, simply click on this particular option that will automatically fill up with the details given here. Then click on save and continue, and it will show you that the communication details have been successfully submitted. Click on OK. After that, you have to choose your passport size color photograph. Your passport size color photograph must not be, it should always be between 10 KB to 50 KB. It should not be less than 10 kilobytes. It should not be more than 50 kilobytes, as I've told you in the beginning session itself. All of your signature also and even your right hand thumb impression also has the same size specification details. Understanding? Male candidates are required to upload their left thumb impression. Women will be uploading their right thumb impression. Remember, after that you can simply choose the file from which your passport size color photographs are there. I am choosing a sample picture here. Then you can choose a signature, a sample signature. And if you open with a thumb impression, you can simply see this. I have uploaded the signature, the picture, passport size picture, and the thumb impression. Remember that the passport size picture should be clear, visible, with a good, preferably a white background, and you should always be in a formal clothes. That will be helpful. And you have to click on this declaration that you hereby declare that all the statements made in this application are correct, and you understand that you are liable to be disqualified at any stage if the information given is found to be incorrect, incomplete, or false. Okay, so this is a very important one. You can enter the place wherein which you are applying this particular important one. If I'm applying from Delhi, for suppose, I'll simply type Delhi and then I'll click on save and continue. So it will simply say that if a candidate image file name should be only letters and numericals are allowed and the space is not allowed. It is showing like that. So I'll go back and I will recheck it. I will simply rename this and I'll choose this. Okay, so the spaces are not allowed in the any file names. So I will choose up all the important ones and I'll rename them. After you do the necessary changes, then you can click on save and continue. And with this, it will show you that your document has been uploaded successfully. Then click on OK. After that, it will ask you about the selection of the exam cities. So I will simply prefer about the states because the address I have mentioned is about Delhi. Then I'll select the important areas that will be appearing for the examination there itself. Okay. You can select any important states that are much nearer to you so that it will be helpful. Okay. And then click on save and continue. After your selection of cities are done, you can click on OK. But if they are not done, simply go back, change them. Okay. But please remember, after you select the cities, there is no way or no choice that you can change your examination centers. This is the final and the only way. Click on OK. And then you will be directed to the AFCAT application form. This is the application form. So it will be showing 4 important points here. Before final submission, please verify all the details in the completed application form. After successful submission of form, no information can be edited. Registration number will be generated after successful submission of completed application form, and please check your registration number in print preview. All of these are very important one. Check your name, your email ID, your father's name, mother's name, your phone number, nationality, marital status, date of birth. Each and every detail must be checked very, very carefully. Your percentage, your physics percentage, math percentage, your graduation details, check the name of it, and then click check whether your signature, your thumb impression, and your picture are correct or not. And after these things are done, simply click on save and continue. If there is any problem with these, then you can go back to home, then you can re-edit them. If everything is okay, simply click on save and continue. After click OK button, form will be non-editable. It is showing a warning signal that if you click on OK, this is a non-editable and you can't edit any of the details that are provided here in this particular application. So I don't think I have to change any other things here. I'll be clicking on OK. Once that is done, I will be redirected back to this page where all of these are showing with a tick mark. That means I have done the final submission of the application. I have read the instructions, I have filled up the application form, I have uploaded the documents, I have selected my exam city, and the final submission is done. Now I have to click on the payment so that I can do a better payment gateway. Okay. Now that we have done with the final submission of this important AFCAT application, we have to make the payment. If you didn't make any payment, then your application will be it will stand cancelled. So it should always, please remember that you have to make the payment for the AFCAT application. So click on make payment. If you click on make payment, it will show you about the AFCAT payment form, wherein which it will tell you to pay through the credit or debit card. You will simply click on pay. Okay. After that, it will show that it is processing the request and we should never press any back button. So it will be opening a new secure page wherein which you can make your online payments here. You can type your name. All of them will be automatically visible here. After that, you can simply do not click on this one and simply type. If it's a credit card, then type your card number and the details regarding it. If it's a debit card, or if you're doing net banking by any detail. I'm going through a debit card. You can type the card number here. After that, I'll type the expiry date and then the year. Then the CVV, which is a very important one. After that, you will click on make the payment. And if you didn't select any country, select that country too. You have to select India and click on it. So it depends on the way you're applying for this application. If you're doing net banking, then the case with that will be different and you can type your OTP. Once this has been successful, it will show it to you that the payment status, that this is my registration number that I've paid for this. You will get the registration number only if your payment is done. If you didn't pay or if you didn't start the process of the payment thing, then you will not get any registration number. That means you are not registered for the examination. So this is very important. You will get the order number, the transaction reference number, bank reference number, payment date, the bank name and the amount, and it will show you the payment status that payment is successful and your application is accepted successfully. Admit cards will be issued later. Then you can simply click on preview application. After you click on preview application, it will show you about the AFCAT application form. This is the original AFCAT application form. If you are able to see this particular sheet, that means you have successfully applied for the AFCAT examination, and you can simply click on print application form. After that, you can simply save it as a PDF in a file for your important reference. Once you save it, this can be forwarded to any important electronic gadget that you have, and you can take a printout of it. Preferably take a colored printout and keep it on your side, and it will be very helpful for you. With this, you can save this important application on your side. Understanding? So this is the way. So I hope that your preparation is going well and good, and I recommend you to download our SSB Crack Exams Android app from your Google Play Store as soon as possible, so that you get guided by the best lecturers in various domains and many experiences. Our lecturers have made it a personalized study plans and their one-on-one person interaction. It will boost your morale in not just succeeding the AFCAT, but also the CDS, INET and various other defense examinations too. If you have any queries, you can write us at our website support@ssbcrackexams.com, and you can even mention in comment section below. And until then, keep the Josh high, and I hope that you have understood the process of this particular application. Any doubts you have, please write to us at our website support.ssbcrackexams.com. Mention in the comment section below. We will directly guide you on how to go through other details too. So keep the Josh high, always stay home, stay safe. Most importantly, eat healthy food, and Jai Hind.